All right, so are you guys ready? Can I get an amen? Whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm so excited. This next woman is coming, and she is just hilarious. I saw her through Polka Dot Powerhouse, and she is just irreverent. She did a book where she cussed. That seems to be a theme. She tells it like it is. She's not afraid to just be her authentic self, and makes no apology. And she's funny, and she's a dog mom. She's an intuitive. I'm messing up the intro. Sorry, Elaine. Her name's Elaine. So of course I love her. Elaine Turso. She's a launch strategist. She's real and raw on TikTok. She has an irreverent book where she used caution tape in the things, and she's an intuitive business consultant, and she's just a badass. Let's welcome Elaine Turso. Woo!
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my God. And we kind of match. How fun.
I know. Look at that. I love it.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for being here. Ever since I met you and did our first connect, I thought, who is this woman? Oh my God. And I know you used to be like a boudoir photographer, but I just love it that you're like, if it's not fun, I'm not doing it.
Yes.
And can you just tell us a little bit about your evolution? Were you always this ballsy? How did you get here?
No, I was not always this ballsy. I will tell you that, because I had fear of offending people. Yes. I did. I had fear of offending people. And when I was a boudoir photographer, I decided to do this project with I was a part of the Seroptimus Club, which is their whole message is around human trafficking and domestic violence and stuff like that. So I decided to do something offensive to bring awareness to it. And I created a calendar called Dudes Against Human Trafficking. And I had men posing as pinup girls. And boy, did I ruffle some feathers, right? And I was scared. And then I had to come to the realization that if they're offended by men's thighs and not offended by women being trafficked and children being trafficked and whatever, they're the problem, not me. And I also do not control if someone else is offended. Being offended is a choice. It is their choice, not my choice. The other thing I realize is that causing offense creates conversations. And so that was that. So I did not always have the balls that I have today. It was through that experience that really kind of propelled me into this zone of uncomfortableness that really helped me grow and I just decided I was going to offend people on purpose. I was going to offend them on purpose. And if I offended you, then I did my job.
Wow. I love that, Elaine. It cracks me up. So people were offended by men's thighs?
Oh, yes. And the cool thing about Seroptimus is it's a whole lot of retired women, who are looking to volunteer and stuff like that. And boy, their feathers were a little ruffled. How dare I? But we raised a lot of money, and all towards the education around human trafficking and stuff like that. And so I was scared, but I talked to an author who lived down in Oregon, and she was very big in the human trafficking space. And I talked to her on the phone, and she really was the one who was like, good, offend them on purpose, just switch. Like, instead of being afraid of offending people, do it on purpose, do it with intention. And that was like, oh my God, it completely was that life-changing conversation that I needed to have, because I was so afraid of what people were going to think and what they were going to say. And I had to just decide I had to get over my damn self. I get over my damn self.
Ah, I love that. Oh my God, I love that so much. It reminds me of, I used to speak about addiction and alcohol awareness, and I would use humor, and I never made fun of anybody else, but I made fun of myself and my family, and people every once in a while would get offended, and I learned to embrace it because I thought, you know what, maybe that's going to get them to go to therapy, maybe that was the wake up call they needed, and I would rather make a difference than have people just do that golf club clap of, well, where's the chicken, I need a drink, kind of thing. So
yeah,
I love that. And now, and tell me about the book, because when you were telling me about this book, I was like, I love this.
Yes. So I've written 2 books that have the F-bomb in the title, as well as my middle finger is on the cover. It's a big giant FU to everyone who's offended, honestly, right? So the first one I did was, it's called Getting Unfucked and Then Getting Naked, and it is about body image. And I collected stories from women in all walks of life, and I gave them a platform to tell their story. It was also a workbook. It had positive quotes and it had coloring pages, all my favorite things. And it's huge. It's a giant workbook. It's ginormous. And the whole premise was to love yourself exactly the way you are. You don't need to change. You don't need to, and you have the power to rewrite your story. So going from, victim to powerful, right? And not being a victim of your circumstance, but rising up and choosing to love yourself regardless. And that we have the choice to rewrite our story. So the first time that I decided I was going to, and the whole reason that I wrote this book, by the way, was because of Polka Dot, I had a vendor table. I was a photographer. What the hell am I going to sell? So I wrote a book, and it was ridiculous, you guys. It was absolutely ridiculous how quickly I put it together, because I was like, oh crap, I need something for this vendor table. And then I was afraid I was going to offend people. So I decided if I make it funny, then people will be less offended. So I put up caution tape. I put up caution, F-bombs ahead signs, and I had emoji stickers with the shocked emoji that they could put on the book if they wanted to. Like, I was trying, how can I make this funny so that I don't offend people? And then again, I don't care if I offend people. Like, it's ingrained, right? As women, we're supposed to be seen and not heard, and don't cause waves, and don't.
It is so ingrained. I believe it's in our DNA, part of our survival. So
yes,
I love that. And how was it received? Like, were most people like, this is great?
Yes, I have a lot of pictures with a lot of Dot sisters, and we are flipping the bird, and we are just having a good old time. It allowed other people to give themselves permission to be themselves, because I was like, hey, I'm going to show up and be myself. So it's okay for you to show up and be yourself. And so that was really cool. And then it was funny because I didn't realize it until later. I love my mother. However, I wrote this book to give my mother something she would not talk about. Okay. My mother is the proper Christian woman. And, my grandmother might say shit, but never the F word. Right. And so my mother, and growing up, it was this funny, like how this memory came, and I was on live talking, and this memory came flooding back where back in the day, if you're a Gen X, what I'm talking about, the long phone cord that your mother could take throughout the entire house.
Yes.
And my mother was talking about me to her friends in the bathroom on the phone, and I could hear her, and I decided to come stomping out of my room and declare, I can hear you talking about me. So I decided to create something that my mother would not talk about. And that was whoa, right? Like big, light bulb moments going off. So then I decided to do it again. And the second time I did it specifically for entrepreneurs, and it was called The Entrepreneur's Guide to Getting Unfucked, Getting Out of Your Own Damn Way, and Getting Shit Done. And again, I did some interviews. I repurposed a whole bunch of content, all of my best tips, and again, workbook, again, coloring pages, and again, my middle fingers on the cover. So super, super fun.
I love it.
Something that I decided, I was like, you know what? I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. I use profanity in my business. And like Samantha, I don't care if people don't like me, that's okay. I'm not for everyone. And I have finally come to terms to accept that your approval is neither desired nor required. Thank you to Wong Fu for everything, right?
Wow. Oh, Elaine, I love that. I mean, it's, I didn't know your whole story, but I was just drawn to you. And like, I just love your TikToks. And, we were talking earlier this week, or we did a Facebook Live, and she was saying how she doesn't plan it. She just thinks, oh, I want to talk about this. Because it was, you were losing your authenticity, right?
Yeah. I tried too hard. And I was really deliberate about my content, and I would, create my whole beautiful Instagram grid. No. So I stopped doing it. I stopped caring about the grid. I stopped caring about the appearance of my Instagram. And I just decided to post whatever the hell I wanted to, whatever the mood striked me. And that's what I do now. I don't care anymore, because I was just talking to one of my clients yesterday, and I said, she was like, I have to do video. And I said, let me ask you this, Bonnie. I said, have you ever gotten clients because of a video? No. Have you ever gotten clients because of a Facebook post? Well, like one. And I was like, what do you get how do you get clients? And I'm sure most of us on here could say it's the one-on-one connection. It's the having a conversation is what the content that we put out is really just a way to let people know who we are and what we do, but it's not to sell, it's to connect. It's to create a relationship. It's to build community. And when we're focused on sell, buy my stuff, it turns people off. So instead, tell stories. Instead, be yourself. Let people into your imperfect life, and they will be more drawn to you. And then you can have really great conversations. And then it could turn into a client now or later. It doesn't matter. But I'm not on Facebook and TikTok and whatever to get clients. I'm there to help and serve and support and offer and guide and all of that kind of stuff. And if they want to just consume all my free content, that's what it's there for. That's what it's there for. Use what you need, right? And I'm here if you ever need me. Like, that's kind of my attitude around it.
I love it, Elaine. Oh my, I'm like, ditto. Yes. Underline exclamation point. Yes. I mean, it's the beginning of a conversation.
Yes.
And, obviously you want to feel good, whatever that feels like for you. But there are some days there's no makeup. It's a yoga day. My hair's back, right? Whatever. And I'm like, there's this. So Elaine, if you don't follow Elaine, you got to follow her on TikTok. Elaine the Brain. Is that it? Okay. And she got this dog as a gift for her husband, but really the dog is hers. And it's the cutest dang dog. Is it a French bulldog?
It's an English bulldog, and her name is Lola.
English bulldog named Lola. And I mean, this dog is adorable. So there's a lot of, there's some footage of the dog, and there's Elaine's in the bathtub. And you see, and you don't see Elaine naked, but and you see the dog, and she's like, don't do it. And before you know it, Lola has jumped into the bathtub, and that's up to like 10,000 views. And
yes.
And I love it. But to me, that's funny. That's life. That's like real life stuff. And that's who you are as a person. And like our lives are messy. And but we get to see that part of you. One of my mentors, she did this whole thing where she was in the bathtub and she put the bath bomb in, and like something weird happened with the bath bomb, and it went viral. And in some ways it was cool, but in other ways it brought up a lot of critics and crazy people. So it's interesting. I think people get all wrapped up in numbers, and it's like, really, it's just, social media is about starting conversations and letting people know who you are and what you stand for. And and it's not there's a lot of stuff that comes from it. So I love that. So tell us about what you do now. And the authoring. And
it's actually 3 years ago. 3 years ago that I decided to retire from photography. And I actually was just sharing that story this morning on my Facebook because it came up in my memories. About the moment that changed everything for me was this wave came over me. I was at Polka Dot Powerhouse. I was doing the event photography, and photographing groups is the equivalent of herding cats.
Yeah, it's hell.
And I did not like who I became in those moments because I was very snappy. Come on, hurry up. We're waiting for you. Like,
stop hiding. Get over there. Right.
We have a lot of people in a very small window of time. And it was very stressful, and I didn't like who I became. And all of a sudden, this wave came over me of, what the hell are you doing? This is not bringing you joy. And it was in that moment that I found the gift of permission to let it go, permission to step into my next phase, my next season. And I retired from photography after 10 years. But I was looking to everyone else to give me permission to quit.
Oh, I can relate to that.
Myself, right?
Yeah.
I gave it to myself. It was the best gift I gave myself. And then
because if you're good at it and people know you, it's like you realize like, woo, this may be harder than I thought. Shit.
Right. Yeah. So it was the thing that I needed to do in order to get me to where I am now. And I have found my sweet spot, right? So I'm a business consultant who does done for you services. And I utilize a software to help business owners with the back end of their business. I call myself the wizard behind the curtain, right? I'm the girl that will do it all for you so you can focus on your zone of genius and you don't have to stress out about it. And I help you organize and automate your business so that you have more time to spend with your friends. And I just had Elaine got to see my friends themed booth at Celebration for Polka Dot. I had a friends themed table because nobody wants to talk about technology. It's scary. So again, how can I make it fun? How can I make it, something that a lot of people love is friends. I'm addicted to friends. I'm not even going to lie about it. Like if you know me, you just know that that's who I am, and you either love it or you don't. I don't care. I like what I like. So I had a friends themed table just so that people would say, what is going on here? Because then it allowed me to start a conversation and ask them about what do they do? Because not every person is going to be a good fit for me. But if I ask you, tell me about what you do.
Right.
It just opened up that conversation. So I love conversations. I want to have conversations. I want to connect with people on a personal level. I want to get to know you. I'm not trying to sell you something, it's just like, so that's what I do. Is I love to help other entrepreneurs, and I utilize a lot of my, I have an intuitive situation going on here. I call them pop rocks. That's why my nickname is Elaine the Brain. Do you get it now?
Elaine the Brain,
right? So I don't know, Elaine, I don't know if you ever went through this, but as a kid, I didn't know that my name rhymed with brain until much later in my life. But I was Elaine the Pain, who went on a train and went to Maine, and nothing cool. Nobody ever said anything cool about my name.
Elaine the Insane. I mean, yes. and I was Elaine the Pain. Yes.
Yes. And so it was like, oh my God, finally found something cool that rhymed with my name. And it just so happens that it fits because I have an intuitive pop rock thing. So when I talk to business owners, I get downloads of ideas and things that they could possibly try in their business. And so that's really, really fun for me. And then I get to help them implement those ideas.
I love that because I get pop rocks too about like, oh, you could do this video and it's so fun. And I love that you help the implementation because for a lot of us, that's like where the rubber meets the road.
Right. That's Frozenville.
Yeah. And so, oh my gosh. So does anybody want to ask Elaine the Brain any questions from her magnificent brain? And I see a dog's tail, but is that Lola or is that's
Jax, who is coming over begging for treats that I do not have at my desk because I ran out and I haven't gotten a new bag. And so, yeah, Lola's over here with Paisley fighting over a toy.
Oh God, I love dogs so much.
Me
well,
too.
Let me know, Justina, let us know if anybody has any questions in the chat or anybody wanting to ask Elaine about, Elaine, you're so awesome. Best advice for rebranding or changing businesses or professions? Yeah, because you've done it. That's a great question.
Yeah. So here's what I say about all of that. Brand you as yourself. Okay. So I wear many hats. I love to do a lot of different things, right? But my umbrella is Elaine Turso. And then I have You Can Automate, and then I have my books, and then I have Polka Dot Powerhouse, and I have all of these things, but I am my brand. It's me. So it doesn't matter what you do. You are your brand. People are going to want to do business with you. Doesn't matter actually what you're selling. They're coming to you to support you as a person. I don't care if you're selling lipstick. I don't care if you're selling a service. They want to support you. So just brand you. Who are you? And do it imperfectly. There's no such thing as imperfect or as being perfect. You got to take it off the table because it doesn't exist. Right. And so I have tattooed on my wrist, perfectly imperfect, as a reminder to myself that I have to show up imperfectly, that I am not going, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. So once I take perfect off the table, then I can show up as my authentic self and not give a damn.
Oh my God, I love it. Woo! Preach, sister, preach. Yeah. I feel like that's something I bump up against. And I know that's why I was drawn to comedy and humor. There's nothing worse than having your agent say, oh, you need to look absolutely gorgeous today. Like that's was the day when the hair was frizzy and I had broke, and I'd been out the night before working. Yeah. I mean, that is the pressure of that was just not fun. Oh
Take
my
it
God.
off the table. Take it off the table. Yeah.
I love that. And I love that you had like that giving yourself permission.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's what I do with my work on camera stuff is helping women give themselves permission, because I think we get conditioned to be the good girls.
Yes.
And to be, seen and not heard or whatever. Don't ruffle, don't be bossy, don't do this. And so I love it. Now, Elaine, I want to ask you, because to me, you're just a freaking badass. What do you do when you have a bad day? And maybe you've done it on TikTok and I just haven't seen it, but like, what do do you go take a bath? Do you go dance around? Do you go do mindless TV? Like, do you have any super secret cool tips that you want to share with us?
So I call them my attitude adjustments. My attitude adjustments are music. So I will put on my my rock music because I am a headbanger. And I will listen to my music. My favorite thing to do, I'm not even gonna lie, is as a photographer for 10 years, I worked every freaking weekend for 10 years. So now that I'm an empty nester, my kids are all grown up, don't live at home anymore. And I have lazy Sundays. And I literally just lay in bed with the dogs and I don't get out of my pajamas. I have a robot vacuum cleaner. I just turn that on, right? And I don't do anything. It's my lazy Sunday. And my husband knows. He's like, lazy Sunday? I'm like, yep. Right. And he doesn't expect me to do anything. I just get to relax. Because for 10 years, I didn't. I was glued to a computer,
I love that. Or I know what it's like to work weekends. Like, I was in the hotel and restaurant business and comedy club business. So the weekends are like, you're so, sometimes you're working 30 hours in 3 days and longer. Yeah. I love that. Lazy Sundays, or like, I hope you don't mind, like we were just in this amazing thing in Denver, this celebration, and the leadership team was there even a day or two before. And I mean, by the second part of the second day, I felt like I was toast. And I was only there for 2 days, but I felt overstimulated, over caffeinated, I could just, because I haven't been into anything like that since COVID or whatever. And I love that you took an extra day to like lounge and hang. Like, I feel like that is so important too. Yeah. It was nice to just lay in a bed and put on movies with my bestie and just like do nothing. Yeah. I think that there is so much power in doing nothing, you guys, like for real. I love that. That was, I got to go on this amazing trip to Portugal. And I remember thinking, space, that's what I need, because I love what I do, but I can be on Zoom from 7 in the morning and I was like, Elaine, you've got to like get out in the world more. So
Yeah.
I love that, Elaine. So I know you have a special gift for us. Tell us how people want more of you and your fabulousness. How do they do it?
Yeah. So I created an app. Remember I talked about I give away all the free content. I put it all into an app. It's called Elevate Your Online Presence. And you can download it, and it's got a lot of my TikTok videos are in there. I've got replays of all of I love to teach. Workshops are my favorite thing ever. And I literally give away the farm. I can't help myself. I give away all the secrets. So the gurus tell you not to, and I say, F the gurus. I'm going to do what I want to do. And so I give away the farm. So enjoy.
Wow. Thank you, Elaine. So the link is in the chat, and tell us if they want to come find you on TikTok. It's Elaine the Brain
Turso. And I'm on Instagram and all the other places and whatever, but that's where I hang out the most is TikTok, just because people are so creative and I learn so much. I learned so much on TikTok. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and I love that. And while we're wrapping up, I want to tell everybody, I had this judgment, like, I'm 54. The TikTok is for kids. I've been a professional dancer, but I don't want to spend the time and energy learning a dance. And, I had all of this like judgment. TikTok has been mind blowing. There's political stuff happening. There's social movements happening. There's embracing whoever the hell you are. I'm excited about cooking. There's recipes, there's workouts, there's all kinds of stuff that you would never think. And I, one other tip, and I know you'll agree, like if someone says, oh, it's so negative, you can curate that.
Yeah, so you get to curate your own algorithm.
Yeah, so just keep scrolling. If somebody irritates you, who cares? Just
girl, did you see my skit I did about that?
Yes, I loved it. How are you?
That's all you gotta do. Just swipe up,
right? The best thing you can do is ignore them. But yeah, I have found, and I have actually found similar stuff on Instagram of just like so much creativity.
Yeah.
And I obviously that just lights my fire, but I love the whole self-expression, even if I don't agree with all of it, but I find it inspiring. And so well, thank you so much, Elaine. Is there any final parting wisdom you want to share about ballsy or humor or Lola? Or
just be yourself, like literally. That's just be yourself. Oscar Wilde, right? Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. I have that up on my wall as a constant reminder that I don't have to be anybody else but myself, and take it or leave it. I don't care.
I love it. Well, let's everybody. Thank you, Elaine. Woo!